Hi, this is Brittany Getting with HotHardware.com. Today we are going to be playing Destiny 2 Beyond Light, in particular the new season of The Hunt, which kinda technically started last week, but the actual content of the new season starts today, so that is going to be our focus. I am right now using the Alienware Aurora R11, which Christopher Getting, who is behind me, being trying to be subtle, actually streamed with on, I believe it was Saturday night. He streamed Horizon Zero Dawn, the PC version. So we are streaming with that system again today, and he, being the reviewer of the system, will also be in the chat to answer any of your questions about the system. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into the game. So, I will admit, I did log in a little bit earlier to check on settings and all that type of thing, and did accidentally see the cutscene that introduces the season of the hunt. I will warn that there was really nothing to it, so thankfully we're not missing a whole lot, especially if you've been paying attention to some of the things going on in Destiny 2. But let's go ahead and log in, and I think as well as doing season the hunt stuff, I may also show you some of the new types of features that have been introduced with Destiny 2 Beyond Light. There's been some changes in the tower, some changes to our ghost, even Gambit, so there's a lot to explore with this new season. So here am I, I'm a warlock, and let's dive in. All right, so I do know just from a little bit experience that we do need to go speak to. The season is going to focus quite a bit on Osiris, so we need to join Osiris in his hunt for vengeance, Trail of the Hunted on the Moon. So let's go ahead and head there. And of course, for my ship, I have to pick the ugliest ship possible, the ugliest ship that I own, as
we
is
have a
tradition.
developing situation that I need you to take point on. For the past few weeks, Osiris has been trying to assess the damage caused by the return of the darkness. He believes that Xivu Arath, the Hive God of War, seeks to take advantage of the power vacuum left in its wake. Osiris was investigating physical manifestations of her magic near the Scarlet Keep when his ghost, Segura, was slain. Osiris delivered a message through a secure channel requesting that you personally aid him in this hunt. He's desperate, Guardian. I need you to save him from himself.
I will say I did read the lore associated with this, so I did kind of know that Osiris has lost his ghost. However, it says I am not signed into Steam, and I think Christopher wanted to join me, so let's pause really quick. You weren't signed in. Let me... Christopher is impatient with me, and he wants to get him signed in here. Okay. There we go. Am I signed in now? I should be. Okay. We shall... wait a second. There we go. Christopher will be joining us in a second. And yeah, so the lore, if you missed that, is that Osiris has lost his ghost and has personally called for our assistance with whatever it is that he needs. I'm not really sure. I think this means Osiris is now technically mortal, but Osiris is Osiris, and so who knows what it actually truly means. Let me just make sure that, there we go. Christopher should be joining me.
I'm worried about Osiris. If Segura's gone, then...
Don't worry about me. But keep your voice down. I'm using an external comm. I thought I was hunting Segura's killer, the High Celebrant of Xivu Arath. Now I think it's hunting me. Lead me in the hole of wisdom.
He cut the transmission. We have to hurry.
So So Zevo Harath, I think that's how you pronounce it, is apparently a hive god of war and part
Your
of...
friend is in a lot of danger.
Okay.
Who are you?
A concerned ghost. Osiris shouldn't be here, especially in his condition.
We appreciate the warning, but we know what we're doing. If you and your guardian are here to help.
My guardian, right?
So yeah, I'm going to guess that is, for those if you've been keeping track of Destiny news, I believe the person who was just warning us about Osiris is Aldrin Sov, now known as
Break the barrier. I think it knows you're here. Trying to keep us separated.
But yes, the focus of this season should be partly hunting down this hive god of war that is gathering together many of our
That night
enemies.
is radiating strange energy. It has to be the High Celebrant, the one that killed Sagira. Osiris, we're here. We'll get that barrier down.
Mysterious reason.
It goes close.
Sorry, I'm trying to let them talk too. And as you can see, I have played through the Beyond Light expansion and therefore do have Stasis, so if you haven't seen that in action, this might be a chance to see what it's capable of. I am still experimenting with it. I'm definitely not perfect at it, so just keep that in mind. I think everyone's experimenting with it. You can see, for example, that grenade that I launched really does a lot. But it is what it is. Which has been nerfed, but is still a pretty good weapon, so really can't complain there.
Osiris, it's heading your way.
Good.
Christopher, I died. Just said thanks in the local
I
chat.
retreated deeper into the shrine. I think this may have been a trap. The tower you saw on the way in, that's a hive cryptolith. It's a conduit of darkness. One of many. The High Celebrant is using them to deploy soldiers across dimensions and tempt others to see Harath's side. If I don't make it out of this, I want you to tell Saint.
Tell him yourself.
Oh, we also, sorry, just thinking about that comment Osiris made about telling Saint, we actually recently also kind of learned, sort of inside the lore, that Saint and Osiris have a romantic relationship, so that's an interesting development. Oh yes, my favorite ogre. So you can see Stasis, well, it freezes, obviously, but the grenade is used to sort of freeze, and then you can, depending on how strong the adversary is, it can either immediately kill it, or it'll freeze it just long enough for you to shoot it. Where's Christopher? There he is. You can see we have magic.
Guardian, picking up multiple hive signatures headed Osiris's way. We're closing in, but facing heavy resistance.
Oh. I did not mean to jump on that dude. There's... Let's take this dude. Like I said, falling guillotine, still a great weapon.
We have to get out of here.
still love Risk Runner. Still my go-to weapon. 'Cause what's more fun than electrocuting people? Okay. Also today, we posted on the site. Oh wait, never mind. Cutscene.
You're here! Finally! Is it done? Calm down,
Osiris!
Hey Sanchez. Thanks for joining us.
We warned you it was going to be dangerous down here, especially for the ghostless. I'm glad to see we're all okay, though. I'm Glenn, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Go on. Introduce yourself.
They call me the Crow. My boss wants to see you.
Impossible.
So yeah, Aldrin Sov, excuse me, is part of this. He has been resurrected as a guardian, so that's an interesting development. And I think I'm going to try turning down the game volume just a little bit once we are able to get to a, actually we'll just go in open settings, sound. That's what I want. It's still pretty low. Okay. And I think, Bungie, please tell me you didn't boot me out. They did this with the Beyond Light expansion too, where there were so many cutscenes that it just constantly were thinking that we were getting booted from the game when we were playing it. There we go. See, even though we are not, new quest activity neutralize. Okay, I know that's not neutralize. What is a new quest activity? All right, so we need to go talk to the spider. But yeah, this happened with Beyond Light too. So many cutscenes to the point where we were constantly afraid that we were getting booted out of the game. Thankfully we weren't, but I do wish that maybe they had laid off the cutscenes a little bit. And let's go say hi to Spider.
What's this? Thought I told you to bring me the warlock Osiris.
Oh, am I not good enough for you, Spider?
Explain yourself.
Osiris.
Lost his ghost. He's gone back to the tower to recover.
You lightmongers never cease to amaze me. You deal violence so easily, and suffer loss so poorly. Such fragile killers.
We'll finish what he started.
And what's that?
Avenge Sagira. Eliminate the High Celebrant.
I had it in my sights. If your friend hadn't needed saving.
You forget your place, little bird.
My apologies, Baron.
Now then, perhaps we can help each other out, eh? I know how accomplished you are at exacting revenge.
Ha 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 ha.
Sivorath is using her High Celebrant and those damn cryptoliths to corrupt Elixni. Cabal, too. But I'm losing soldiers and Glimmer by the skiff load. That's right. I know what Osiris was doing on the moon. I also know you'll fare far better given the proper motivation. Leave us, Crow. The Guardian and I have terms to discuss.
Okay, bye, Aldrin. Okay. So now I have a little bit more control over the
My
screen.
little bird sure is something, isn't it? I have to imagine you share in my appreciation of fate's cruel sense of humor. I found him wandering the reef like a piece of wind-blown trash. Aimless, hopeless, no memory of the prince he was. Now, I could have sent him off to the tower, but we all know what's waiting for him there. I couldn't let that happen, so I took him in as a kindness. As far as his loyalty is concerned, I took a few extra precautions and made some modifications to his ghost's shell. Now, if he ever flies too far from the nest, boom.
That's nice.
That ugly business out of the way. Let's focus on what really matters. This hive infestation. I propose a partnership. You go out there and do what it is you do best, and I'll, lend you the resources you need to get it done. Maybe even a little extra something on the side. Just don't mention the name Uldren Soth. For his sake.
Of course, now the question is, what is it that he actually plans to do with Uldren? Uldren Soth has been reborn as a guardian and now goes by the name Crow. After gloating over having this former prince and his employ, Spider proposes a mutual collaboration to deal with Zivu Areth, like I said, I can't remember to pronounce it, infestation, and offers Crow's services as aid. Speak with Crow to learn more about how to hunt down, Zivu Areth's forces. Okay, so I think we now have
You enjoy your visit.
I think we're now visit with the Crow. I think we've now left the cutscene, and hopefully can start to do stuff. Oh, look at this! Look at this fancy new back room over here. All right, hey Uldren.
The reef's sky has holes in it, and the whole system's in chaos. Of course, Zivu Arath decided now
Zivu
was the right
Arath,
time
okay.
to corrupt herself and army. We call them Wrathborn. Most of them are Elixni like Spider. Others, well, Spider wants the lines of Glimmer open, Hive God or not. Asked me to help you deal with Zivu Arath's High Celebrant. Apparently, the Guardians of the Last City are old friends of mine.
Sure, whatever you say, buddy.
But I don't remember you. I found some Hive artifacts gathering dust in Spider's trove, and fashioned them into a lure. Wrathborn go crazy for them when they take the bait. I wish there was some other way, but her magic's driven them mad. Hunting them down is the only way to weaken Zivu Arath's grip on the shore. Like Spider says, violence is the only language the Hive understand. For now we can start small, work our way up her command chain. When we reach the High Celebrant, we'll take it down. Stop Zivu Arath from corrupting anyone else. Don't take this the wrong way, but it's nice to be working with another light bearer.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Zivu Arath's minions are a threat to business on the shore, and Spider wants them dealt with. Crow has cobbled together a lure from an old Hive artifact. It seems to be effective at baiting out the Wrathborn, Zivu Arath's corrupted army. Acquire the lure from Crow's workshop. Lure. Oh, okay. All right. So he does have some vendors. So originally, I think a lot of people actually thought, because most people knew before this expansion started that Uldren would in some way, they thought he was going to be a vendor. Originally, a lot of people thought he was going to be a vendor in the Cosmodrome, which perhaps we will check out, as I know a lot of people were really excited that that was coming back in some way, shape, or form. And then, kind of surprised, we realized that he is a guardian, and has no recollection of who he is. So I don't think most everyone who was excited about the game thought that he instead would be a vendor near the spider, but here we go. So I do have some recon data. I collected some of it because, as I mentioned before, Beyond Lights technically started last week, as did the Season of the Hunt, but the content for Season of the Hunt didn't. But there were still elements of it that were available, like the seasonal artifact and like the recon data. So it's a bit confusing, but we now are, I think, fully into the season. So I do already have some recon data, so I'll go ahead and do that. Access the lure mods and upgrades vendor subscreen and Crow's inventory by clicking. All right, purchase a lure upgrade. So the one they want us to purchase first is increase the amount of recon data obtained from Wrathborn hunts. Okay, can we see what else we will have? That's good, excuse me. One thing that's a little bit frustrating is Varix on Europa has kind of a similar system, but you can't actually see what's further down the tree. So I am glad that we can kind of, so let's actually go through them. So Improved Seeker 1 unlocks Hive Wrathborn hunts. Power Hunter increases the power rewards. Amount of weekly powerful Wrathborn hunt rewards is increased from 2 to 4. Crow's weekly challenge is upgraded to a pinnacle power so we're looking at primarily rewards and drop rates. Reputation boost 2, seasoned hunter, mutation at mod extractor, and then the lure mods. Armor trophy mod all around. Cool. So I'm glad to see that we can actually look a little bit farther ahead than you can with Varix right now, which is a little irritating. Oh, I can already take one. How nice. And he gave us a weapon. What did you give us, buddy? Friction fire submachine gun, precision frame, drop mag, subsistence, and rampage. I don't know if that's a good roll, but I like all of those weapon perks, so perhaps we will try that guy out and switch some things over. Couple of fun things. Here's one of the new seasonal, or I should say, Beyond Light exotic weapons, Duality the shotgun. It comes with corkscrew rifling, magazine on black wings, and short action stock. I still need to mess around with it. It's okay so far, but yeah. Well, I'd still need to mess with it. Alright, what else does he have? What bounties? Oh, okay, I'll just keep going that for him. Fallen boss culling. Defeat a fallen boss with stasis damage. Okay. Defeat a hive boss with solar damage. Fine. Pulse rifle, which is fine because I do have no time to explain. Grenade launcher. Sure, great. Power weapons. Defeat combatants with stasis. And then extra. Okay. Let's acquire that lure. Check out our next quest step. Okay, configuring the lure for a Wrathborn hunt requires a lure charge. To obtain charges, bring your lure into Crucible, Gambit, or Strikes. Oh. Come back. There we go. The lure begins partially charged. You'll need to do the rest yourself. Okay, so we'll need to charge it. So we're going to need basically to do activities. So let's, before we jump into the rest of it, let's look a little bit at some of the new pages. So the quest page basically hasn't changed since last season, nor has like the seasonal page. What I think is the biggest change that most people will be interested in is the triumphs page, which the triumphs have really been reconfigured. They're not the same triumphs, or at least most of them are not the same triumphs that you would have recognized from last season. So for example, there is these seasonal ones, but there's also things that are focused on, let me see if I can find it, I guess it'd be under lifetime gear. So for example, now there's things like scout rifle aptitude and stuff like that, where you really are able to get triumphs mostly by playing the game, which there's always been some, like for example the Titan Hunter Warlock things, but not nearly as many. So that's kind of nice to see. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's look at really quickly. Oh, the new Nightfall, the Ordeal is Europa. Cool. So maybe we'll do that one just so you guys can see what that strike looks like. Since that is a new strike, there's also a new strike, not the tower, excuse me, at the Cosmodrome. The Disgraced, you need to defeat the Shamed Hide Wizard, Navota, and the Cosmodrome. This strike is associated with the new Light quest. So there is a new Light experience, which is a mouthful to say. We have done it, and it's a lot better than the New Light experience was. The old New Light experience honestly didn't give you a whole lot, and if you were a new player, it could be really confusing, especially once you got to the tower, to figure out who you were supposed to talk to, what you were supposed to do, what is it that they're offering, like what does that look like. And the overall quest for the New Light experience previously was relatively short. Now it's a bit longer, it's a bit more involved, so if you are an older player, it may not be as exciting. But if you're a newer player, you're going to receive a lot more help, so that's nice. You can see, of course, that the map is different. We are missing the 4 previous locations. They have been vaulted, or at least in terms of the lore, consumed by the darkness, hidden by the darkness. As of right now in the game, lore, we're still not quite sure what has happened to the locations, whether they have disappeared and they're completely gone, or if they're just being obscured by the darkness. Instead, very prominently in place is Europa, and then of course Nessus, the EDZ, Moon, Tangled Shore, Dreaming City are all still there. Also prominently on the map is the tower with the healed traveler, which the travelers began to heal or healed during the Season of Arrival's end of season event. We're still not really sure what the implications of that are. Hopefully that'll begin to become clear over the next season, or at least over the next year of content. But let's go ahead, since we'll probably end up doing, it looks like we have to do some activity. Let's go ahead and head to the tower. And I'll also show you some of the new features there. So let's check out, yeah, I think I might want to switch over that weapon. Why not? Let's show off some of the new weapons, shall we? All right. I'll also show you the new ghost mods, which I am actually a big fan of. So let's actually peek at those before we go into the rest of the tower. You can now customize your mods on your ghost, which is really nice. I think it opens up the possibility that you can now use whatever ghost shell you want instead of using the ghost shell that came with certain roles, and you know that was never particularly fun and always kind of felt like you were losing a bet. Now you can customize them based off of a variety of things, including their purpose. So for example, here's my Gambit ghost, and so right now I have a mod on it that Gambit wins have a chance to award an upgrade module. So this is the one I use for Gambit. This is the one I use for I know I kind of still stuck with the ones that came with it. Old habits die hard. This is the Crucible one that I've put, you know, a little skin on. Crucible wins have a chance to drop an additional piece of legendary gear. We will probably not do Crucible because Crucible frankly is a mess right now. I think there's some issues with how powerful Stasis can be for certain for Titans, for example, that seem a little bit OP right now. So it's not an enjoyable experience. So this is the one I have for the ghost I have equipped right now is the one that I have for strikes. I haven't done anything with this one. This one's just from Festival of the Lost. This is one that you get as a new light, and this is one I got with the expansion, and that I use when we're on Europa. So let's go check out some of the fun things. So this is a new terminal. It's the Quest Archive. It would be, if you are a veteran player and you want to experience the new light quest for the first time, you know, see what what is up, excuse me, you could go here. So quests related to the new light experience. I don't have anything because I've already done it. Quests related to campaigns. There's some seasonal stuff. So if you kind of lose some quests, which we've all had to abandon quests at some point because our quest and bounties get too full, this is sort of where you would pick them up. So I have, for example, a couple here for the moon. I'm not going to pick them up because frankly, I think I've done those quests approximately 500 times. So that is next to the postmaster in this little corner. It's not obvious, but it is right there. And then the big fancy terminal over here is the exotic archive. So one change they made is there are some exotic weapons that are associated with locations that have been vaulted. So the question then is, how as a new player, or even an older player who just maybe never did those quests, are you going to be able to access those weapons if the locations are completely gone? So this is Bungie's answer to that. So I'll just kind of show you a little bit here. So there is some legacy gear associated with various seasons. And then there is exotic, so Red War exotics, Forsaken, and Shadow Keep. So this would be a way to get some of those exotics. And to top it off, because you may notice, we'll go back in there, since I kind of went through there a little bit quickly. In order to purchase any of these weapons, you would need an exotic cipher. Xur now offers a weekly quest line, basically, to acquire an exotic cipher. So it's not impossibly difficult to get. You just want to make sure you have the exotic cipher, an Ascendant Shard, Glimmer, and the appropriate destination materials, depending on the item. And then there is the spend middle leaves are the new destination material for the Cosmodrome. Let me see if I can find. Oh, this one, Spoils of Conquest. There are some weapons that are associated with raids, and so now they have developed basically a raid currency that you would use for those specific exotics associated with them. So you're basically doing the raid to get the raid weapon. So it's kind of the same. All right. Let's go ahead because I can't stand flashing. Bungie knows how to capture our attention there. Let's check out these boots I just got. They're fine, but they are my highest power level, I believe. So they are gonna chill for now. The exotic archive is blinking because every time you get a cipher, it wants you to purchase an exotic weapon, but I haven't really made my choice on that. So let's check out this transmission from Osiris that we have received. Okay, it's not too long, so I'll go ahead and read through it. Guardian, let us not waste time on formalities. Spies from both the city and reef have become aware of an unclaimed light bearer, though they have not yet been able to put a name or face to the reports. Their attention has only focused now that this light bearer has fallen prey to the shore's self-appointed overseer. It is a matter of time until all is laid bare before prying eyes. You would be wise not to hasten this effort. Instead, give credence to this. Our crow is a new light. Attention is required elsewhere, and whatever latent grudge you bear against the flesh of against the flesh the light has inhabited, carries merit no longer. Uldren Sov is dead. Do not pummel the corpse of your grievances. Keep this information between us, or if the first trigger pull was not enough to satisfy, know that you only risk our chance at victory for a scrap of catharsis. I do not believe this to be your nature. Xivu Arath leaves no room for distraction. The appearance of her mongrels are the fingers of her encroaching grasp. We have a single moment to halt their advance, for if she is successful, her brood will establish a foothold that could take centuries to purge, if it can be purged at all. Falter and she will swallow this system. Secrets keep the peace for now. Truth in time. I will assist you where I can, Osiris. Alright. So let me bring up that quest again. Okay, cool. There we go. Configure the lure to enable a Wrathborn hunt. Each hunt will consume a lure charge. Charges can be attained. So, Christopher, want to do a strike?
I thought you'd be gone by now. I would attempt to dissuade
Oh, sorry.
you from
Zavala
the
needs to talk to
course,
us real quick.
but it would only insult us both. As it stands, we've got every available guardian dealing with escapees from the prison of elders. It's still...
Sorry.
I thought you'd be gone by
Okay.
now.
Sorry, I will say, I actually own Forsaken, had not done Forsaken yet, so the reason I actually had to log in earlier was to do the first quest. I know. I've had other things to do, so I believe this is Forsaken related.
If you go to war with the Reef, it's a war you will have to fight alone. The Vanguard cannot help you.
Yeah, this is from that. Okay, thank you, Zavala, for those kind words. Another fun thing now is that you can earn these different pieces of gear by doing the weekly challenges. You can do it for Crucible, for Gambit, and for Strikes. So do 5 weekly challenges, you'll get 5 pieces, which is kind of a neat thing. Once again, sort of awarding you for doing activities instead of forcing you to do stuff that you may not want to do. Let's go ahead and look at that Nightfall. When defeated, fallen vandals spawn a web mine at their feet. I'm at over 1200, but I'm really not at 1220, so we'll probably just do the adept mode. The hero mode will probably be a little bit too much. But let's pick up some bounties from our friend Zavala. That is not what I wanted to do. That is what I wanted to do. So let's check out what he has. Arc, solar, of course. Sniper, solar, finisher. That is a solar weapon. Cool, cool.
Stay vigilant, Guardian.
All right.
We've come too far to let
Make sure I have that right. The only that kind of maybe, well, I guess it's not annoying because you did it before, switching between the ghost shells. You ready, Christopher? Hi, Leona Dub. Welcome to our stream of Season of the Hunt. We are about to jump into a Nightfall strike because we need to do activities in order to charge this lure and use it to hunt down Wrathborn, which is now part of the new season. So let's... But because I'm not quite at 1220, we're going to do just the very basic level of Nightfall. And check out the new weapons I've gotten. Because Uldrensov, aka the Crow, has now given us a fun machine gun, or submachine gun, excuse me. Oh, here's the new seasonal artifact, in case you're wondering. Fang of Xivu Arath. Haven't quite unlocked all this yet. But I mean the mods are pretty good. I mean, I think they're comparable, excuse me, to past seasons. Nothing too terrible, nothing too OP. Kind of in the middle. So the Nightfall this week, if I haven't already said, and one of the reasons I want to do it is the Europa one. So this is the one associated with Beyond Light. So it's nice and fresh content, not the same strikes that we're used to and have done over and over and over again. It is important to note that the strikes that were part of the destinations that have been vaulted are gone. So I will say right now the strike playlist in general is a little thin, but that's okay. I'm sure they will add more as time goes on.
We're here, stranger. So, What's our plan?
Despite our best efforts, the Vex gate within remains active thanks to Aramis. Destroying it loses us a vital link
Oh, I guess
to
I
the
do
Vex.
wanna.
A story
those
for another time,
counterpoints.
perhaps. For now, we need to focus on stopping any further incursions from the portal.
Understood. We'll take care of it.
Alright. So if you haven't seen Europa, here's part of it. This is sort of the... If you have just started the game or just started the expansion, this is the... That submachine gun is not too bad. This is on the far right side of the map. Unfortunately, in the game right now, this side of the map, other than really the strike, doesn't have... Oh, just missed that vandal. Doesn't actually have a whole lot to it. I'm hoping that they maybe add more content to it, because I do think it's a beautiful spot and it's interesting. There's just not a whole lot reason to visit it. Christopher, did you just die? Yep. So for those who are interested in Beyond Light, we did do an article today, we reviewed the storyline, the plot of the new expansion, some things that we like that they did, other things that we wish they had really gone further with. So if you are interested in our review of that, you can check out the website. I believe Christopher is going to be dropping a link in the chat. Yep, there he goes. So the link is in the chat for that article, or you can go to HotHardware.com for it. But yeah, like I said, we reviewed the storyline, because I think the introduction of Stasis, of the use of darkness, is really interesting, but there are some issues with the expansion, or at least unanswered questions with the expansion, that I wish that they had really spent more time on. And Luke Smith of Bungie has indicated that some of the issues I talked about will be addressed in later seasons or later expansions, but I do wish that just a little bit more had been done. But overall, the introduction of the new subclass is really interesting, really fun. As I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm still kind of figuring out the best way to use it. I do have it equipped now, as you can see, so you'll get to see a little bit of it. But I think every player is at this point. It is entirely new. So I will say this submachine gun is not as snappy as my precious Risk Runner, but still fine. Still a fine gun. Still fun. I don't want to die. Shoot, 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 shoot. There we go. Let's wait here to revive our friend. And Christopher has also dropped in the chat the review for the Alienware Aurora R11. So if you're only interested in that and could care less about Destiny, we do have the review of the system that I am currently using to stream the game available as well. But I'm going to assume most of you are here for the new content from Destiny 2, so I'm going to mostly talk about that.
I'm sure wherever he is, he's laughing at us. He's the reason all this is here in the first place. The darkness told him to build the portal. It's his fault the Vex invaded. His fault so many people died. I did everything I could to help. It still wasn't enough.
There's no use in quantifying the help you give. Any amount is enough. You've done far more than most.
And it's only just begun, little light.
I will add that our article, because I was going to mention this now, does contain major spoilers. So if you have not played Beyond Light but plan to, or just don't like spoilers in general, just keep that in mind when you read the article. I will say spoiler alert right now. During this strike, you are hearing the voice of the stranger, the Exo Stranger, who is essential in helping us in the journey and development with Stasis. So she is a key. I can't see anything. Nope, don't go back in there. That was dumb of me. She is really a key in that storyline. So if that's, you're gonna be hearing her voice. You will be. Oh shoot, I missed him. Probably hearing. I believe you're gonna hear the voice of Barracks pretty soon. He's also essential. There we go. In the plot line, and you should hear the voice in this strike of Aramis, who is the main antagonist of. Oh, and our friend is way ahead of us. Okay, who is the main antagonist in Beyond Light? The strike that we're experiencing right now comes about halfway in the Beyond Light expansion. There we go. Freeze him a little bit. Oh, I hate those exploding guys. And as much as I like testing these new weapons, I am seriously missing Risk Runner right now. There's a good example of a melee attack under the Warlock. So I have discovered that the Stasis melee attack for Warlock, I think, is best used if you see a group of low-level adds. It's where other... Oh, I somehow did not die. Wow. Let's heal up. Nope. No, take that back. I'm dead. I was going to say that the other types of melee attacks, Super Void and Solar and things like that, I feel like are much more, I don't know if immediate would be the right word, but they're, for the most part, you know, like Void, for example, is really more focused on eliminating one opponent, where I think the Stasis melee, Warlock Stasis melee really shines when you use it on that small group of adds. It's not super effective against more powerful guys, but little dudes, it'll take care of, like that guy. Who are we missing? Nope, we're good. It is boss time.
You know what to do.
And there's two big boys here. Let's move out of the way. Nope. Or not move out of the way. I will say, having done this strike already, I don't want to say it's a bad strike, because I think the strike overall is fine, The boss fight is a little long and a little underwhelming, which, granted, especially in other strikes, some of which have been faulted, some of the bosses are almost a little too easy to defeat. You can, especially if you're at a decent power level or have the right weapons, you can, in some cases, get them in a matter of seconds. That is definitely not the case with this boss, but I will say that I feel like it just takes a little long. I do like these little like secret passageways though in the strike. That's kind of fun. I'm a sucker for a secret passageway. Let's get out of this guy's way. Nope, thought he was gonna follow. I will hopefully show up the warlock. Oh no! Sorry, we recall these guys. You can see they're sort of a new Vex enemy. We call them Divey Boys. And you'll probably see why in a second. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll kill them. They are not fun. They will dive at you and do a horrendous amount of damage. There. Please don't hurt me. Oh wow, I am out of primary ammo. Oh, I did not do that well. That is great. Like I said, I'm still learning how to use Stasis. I should say I'm especially still learning the best way to use the Stasis Warlock Grenade. Which Christopher primarily plays as a hunter, and he says he's had very similar issues with the grenade too. So, let's do some supering. Some other quest line. I can't remember which one it is though. Alright. Where is boss? Or I should say, sorry, the Transcendent Hydra. Okay, good. Didn't make as dumb a decision as I thought. Come on, buddy. And I'm out of ammo again. Can I do this? Come on. Ball to fall and guillotine. Yay! Okay. Now I need ammo very, very badly. Let me see if I can heal our friend.
Where to find us when they do.
I do indeed. Thanks again.
Let's get our loot. I should probably not have done that. That's fine. Sweet, so did that charge our lure then? Configure the lure to enable Wrathborn. Did something. Open the lure. Okay, so open the lure's configuration screen, insert mods to configure the lure. Prey mods select the Wrathborn target and the spoils of the hunt. Trophy mods adjust the rewards you'll receive. Inserting mods into all 3 slots will activate the lure. Okay, so I'm gonna just do this so that no longer blinks at me. Let's return to orbit. and then let's check out this lure. Okay. Open the lure's details. I'm trying to open your detail screen. There we go. Okay. So this, okay, increases the amount of recon data obtained from Wrathborn hunts. So that is a lure upgrade. Okay. Prey mod, Savik. This mod enables the lure to attract the fallen Wrathborn Savik. You get, oh, alright, nice. We get a little hint of the loot. Deafening Whisper. This mod enables the lure to attract the fallen Wrathborn HKD-1, Corsair's Wrath. Alright, so I don't have this yet, but this mod would enable the lure to attract the Hive Wrathborn Dual Arath. And then this mod enables the lure to attract the Hive Wrathborn Zilox? I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. So let's, since this is the first one, and I don't know if it really, well, I guess here's the second. Okay, so I need to do one. So let's just do the first one. I don't think it particularly matters. It probably just determines the order in which we get the weapon. So weak mutation slot. Insert a trophy mod into the slot to enable a tier 1 Wrathborn hunt. Weapons obtained from Wrathborn will include a stability master. Okay, so this seems to me very, very similar to the Chalice and the Menagerie. So if you are familiar with that, I think this will seem pretty familiar to you. I'm sure with that, like with the Menagerie, there'll be different kinds of weapons. Kinds of weapons you can acquire that way. Oh, interesting. You can even specify a little bit what kind of perks you want. Oh. How very interesting. Stability, handling, reload or charge time, velocity or range. I am going to do, I think I'm going to first do reload and charge time, because I do very easily get irritated with weapons that I feel like take way too long to reload. Oh no, I can't do it. I can't apply it. Never mind. I don't get a choice in that. Trophy perk, veto mod. Weapons retained from the successful Wrathborn hunt will exclude specific perks and include certain ones. Same with here. Okay, so maybe it looks like the first weapon we don't get a choice, but in past ones we will. Oh, clears lure configuration and refunds all inserted mods. Cool. Alright, so our next part of the quest would be to... oops, that is not what I wanted to do. Place the activated lure at a cryptolith to begin the hunt. Return to Crow after you've defeated the Wrathborn. Well, alright then. So I guess let's do that. I think we need to go to the Tangled Shore. Yep. And that is outside of Thieves Landing. So let's go ahead and head there and see what happens. Goodbye, Europa. I'm going to mute myself for a second, just so you don't hear me take a sip of water. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, this is the season of the hunt so far. So it seems like these Wrathborn hunts, excuse me, are going to be the focus of it. We'll see how it goes. Haven't done one of those yet, so we'll see whether it's actually an enjoyable experience. I feel like the seasonal events can be really hit or miss. All right. So somewhere in the middle over here. And let's just kill some dudes. Why not? For the fun of it. That's a weird sentence out of context. Alright, where... Okay, we need to go a little bit further. Ooh, this is cute. Ugh, I hate the hive. Okay. Ready, Christopher? Alright.
Good job on the lure. Here come the hive.
Let's wait. Survive.
Let's move out of there a little.
You are a light bearer, Crow. Survival is mandatory.
Dude? Come here, friend. There you go. So yeah, I'll just show you the melee. See, like, it freezes, but I think it's much more effective against small, groups again of small adds.
It's running from the cryptolith. What should we do?
It'll return at full strength if we don't finish the job. Chase it down.
Okay, where was that? I just saw the begin tracking. Let's go. Alright, the Wrathborn is attempting to escape. Track it to its lair in the Tangled Shore. So, where is it? Oh, there's like a trail here. Okay. Hey guys, I don't have time for you right now. I gotta go track this disgusting hive thing. Okay. I don't know which one is worse, the hive or the scorned. Oh. Alright, continue Wrathborn hunt. Recommend power level. We're already there. So we should be good to go. By the way, as many of you probably know, the new raid is supposed to launch this weekend. I'm not really sure yet if I will be doing it, be part of that race, just because I need to see if I can put a fire team together. My clan mates will be available this weekend, but definitely, if not this weekend, we'll be doing it hopefully soon. I'll shoot this thing down. Alright, so this season is so far living up to its name. We are literally hunting this down. Its death throws summon an even larger Wrathborn. Okay, good. I was going to say that was underwhelming. Alright, hunt Savik. Keep those guys down. So we're supposed to do anything with this? That part's a little unclear. Or at least it's unclear to me. Oh, Christopher just commented just like Gambit. Okay, so maybe we need to just, like Gambit, eliminate these guys first. And then he's good to go. Don't put up a shield. Don't do that to me. There we go. Gotta stand in it to do more damage. Okay. Alright, I see.
hoping his gratitude
Oh,
would
there's
part us
that
more
weapon.
anyway. He'll never let us go willingly. If we want to be rid of him, we'll have to do it ourselves. Just remember that it's my life and your light on the line.
Okay, configured lure to, okay, so that would be the lure again. Let's check out our weapon though. Deafening Whisper Grenade Launcher. So it has confined launch, high velocity rounds, I like that. Surplus, threat detector. One-shot handheld grenade launcher projectiles release a wave of energy when they contact the ground. Cool. So let's give that a whirl, shall we? I think we shall. Let's just go find a friend to share this new toy with. That looks like a friend who wants to play. Okay. Oh, interesting. That bounced off him. Come on. So there's that shockwave. Cool. So it doesn't go as far unless you hit the enemy, just as like a little. Oh, you already killed that guy. What's up to these guys? Okay. So you do need to be fairly accurate with it if you really want it to actually do a whole lot. So what do we need to do now? Let's take a look. Speak with the crow. Okay, we're gonna fast travel because why not? And see what he has to say. So huge focus on the Tangled Shore, it looks like. Okay. I don't know why I do this. Could I just walk? Yeah, but I guess I have to use my sparrow. It looks like a huge focus on the Tangled Shore, which is not, you know, it's unsurprising because so many of the destinations have been eliminated. Oh, that's right, he's in here. Hey, buddy. Crow gives a wry smile. Nice work. You picked that up quickly. But that's only the beginning. His smile fades. There are much more dangerous Wrathborn than that one. He checks the sights on his weapon. So let's get to work. Continue charging the lure and equipping it with mods to unlock Wrathborn hunts. Complete hunts to progress Crow's weekly challenge. Alright, sweet. So now we have some of those mods to use. I guess mods to purchase. Okay, so we have the glimmer, so let's just pick up one of them, or one of each. Nice, and then let's take a look at our lure. Okay, so we need to charge the lure first, but now I believe we have some of these, so that is nice. So to charge the lure, we would need to do more activities. So that seems like that seems like the seasonal activity that we will be engaging in. A bit of a nice change of pace. I do feel like, especially because of how long Season of Arrivals lasted, the weekly activities, the seasonal activities, felt quite stale by the end of it. So it is nice to have something a little bit different, and it's something that you can do while doing the other activities that you would typically want to do in the first place. So I do like that. I think everyone has a favorite when it comes to either Strikes, Gambit, or Crucible. I think I prefer Strikes and Gambit in general. Like I said, Crucible's a bit of a mess right now. It's always a bit of a mess, but it's especially a bit of a mess right now. So that is nice. Let's won't spend too much time, but let's maybe go for a little tour of Europa and a little tour of the Cosmodrome, just for fun. So let's leave the Tangled Shore for now. Let's go. Want to go for a tour, Christopher? A little vacation? let's head to the Cosmodrome first. So I know everyone was really excited about this destination, and then I think we will call it good for today. Just looking. Yep, those are the new weapons I have. Oh, here's some of the new armor. In case you were wondering, this is some of the armor you can earn on Europa. It's not the one that drops with the seasonal pass, so just keep that in mind. It is a different kind of armor. Anything new here? Let's get rid of those guys. We don't need those guys. So here's the Cosmodrome, the long-awaited, much-anticipated Cosmodrome. The only thing I don't like about it,
Status.
Shahan has the deadest eyes. Like everything else about the Cosmodrome is beautiful, lovely to look at, and then Shahan dives into your soul with his soulless eyes. So that is the only thing that isn't great. This is, I should add, the first location that you will experience in the new New Light campaign. It was also the first place you would experience in the old New Light campaign. That's a mouthful to say. But now this is, you can see, much bigger, much more detailed. Ooh, we gotta kill the yellow bar guy. Because even though we are not beginners, we still like chests and loot. New grenade launcher? There we go, I hit something there. It's very detailed, it's very, very pretty. And you will spend most of your New Light quest line exploring the various parts of this area, so you're not just confined to really like the one or two areas that you were before in the original New Light experience. Let's go. So here's, I want to go to the abandoned ship area because I think the abandoned ship area is my favorite spot. So let me just show you a quick map. So this is where you'll start by the steps. Moth yards. I think my favorite location so far, you can say I still have some region chests and stuff to get, is the Forgotten Shore. And it is because, and this sounds a little bit silly, but where I live, I actually live on a river, and just, I don't know, not even a mile or two away from me, there is actually a sunken ship. It's not like a huge ship, you know, it's not like there's a pirate ship hanging out in the river, but it's this little sunken ship, and the shipyard, dockyard, Forgotten Shore, excuse me, kind of reminds me of that ship, and I don't know, just kind of a fun little thing. Alright, so let me remember, so we'll need to go, I think, down this path.
The city's put out a call for raw materials. We're looking for
And Shahan, as well as being your guide during the New Light experience, is also the Cosmodrome vendor. So even if you don't go through the New Light campaign, you can still talk to him to get bounties and all that stuff. Look how pretty that waterfall is. I love this little area so much. And it looks like Christopher has started a patrol. I think this is honestly supposed to be Russia, but it reminds me a lot, I mean, I'll say this, I have never traveled to Russia, so I do not know if parts of Russia look like this. But this reminds me a lot of the western United States, where I am originally from. So here's the Forgotten Shore. You can just see like the beat up ships and things like that. There is a lost sector here. Oh, and that reminds me, let me show you something new. So there are now 2 lost sectors that are more difficult. They're master lost sectors. So In this example, Exodus Garden 2A, you can do the Lost Sector normally, but then you can also choose to do the Master version. So in the Master version, you'll have extra shields, match game, locked equipment, extra champions, barrier and overload champions. Your modifier will be Scorched Earth, a bunch of different stuff. And if you do it solo, you get a chance of exotics, as well as enhancement cores are available too, although uncommon. So it's just kind of a nice, an extra little thing, an extra little incentive to do Lost Sectors, because I definitely feel like once you've done a Lost Sector, you don't really feel a desire to do it again unless there's a really good reason to, or you're just someone who is really dedicated to doing bounties. So it's neat to see a new kind of challenge. I do like the introduction of that feature in this expansion. I'll be a good sport and do the patrol with Christopher if I can. There we go. Actually, there we go. That's better. Drop some on the ground. So yeah, here's the Forgotten Shore. There's also a bunch of little, like, I think, is this a cave? Yeah, little caves here and there. Another update is we are not really sure whether or not Zur will be appearing on Europa and in the Cosmodrome, and if he does appear, where he will be located. So that is going to be something new. Last week he was in his usual location in the tower. So I guess we'll just kind of see week by week. To my knowledge, Bungie has not provided any update on that, so perhaps it'll be a little bit of a surprise. If people are interested, maybe we'll write an article about his new locations. For the most part, his exotic offerings, I can say, have stayed the same. So if you have a lot of those, all or a lot of the exotic weapons, I don't think you'll find anything new in his inventory. But if you're a newer player and you're still collecting certain exotics, he's definitely worth a visit. And then of course he does have that exotic cipher quest. So if you do not have all the exotics that are offered right now through that exotic vault, you'll definitely want to talk to him to get that quest. So here is the new, we call it, so I know it's just like the resources and stuff like that. We actually call it data lettuce because on Nessus, the same thing is called data lattice. And so now everything is data lettuce. Easier to remember than remembering the names of all of them, for sure. All right, so here's that area. Let's go to, if I want to go, oh, don't shoot at me, buddy. So this location would take you basically to the new strike that is associated with the Cosmodrome. You can see on the map here, this is the location you will go to. I have not got the region chest there. And let's end with a quick trip to the latest destination, Europa. So let's first go talk to the Exo Stranger, who is still, I guess vendor is the correct term, but she mostly offers you quests. You can't really like buy anything from her or anything like that. But we'll go talk to her first. Then I'll show you where Varix is and do a quick little tour of Europa, and then I think we will call it good for the day. Don't want to show this, want to delve into the Season of the Hunt, but not too deeply, at least for today. All right, so here is where the stranger chills. You can see she has nothing for us because I am still working on the quest to get, and that reminds me, let's take a quick look at Stasis. So while I do have Stasis, I have not collected yet any aspects or fragments, so I cannot comment on their efficacy or how fun they are, but I believe the Exo Stranger is where basically gives you the quest to acquire those. Here's her little hut. Let's go invade her space a bit. We're collecting some trophies and memorabilia over here. I'm not really sure what its purpose is yet, but that is something we are doing. And that's the ziggurat, which, spoiler alert, the ziggurat is where, as you begin to learn stasis, like this is basically where you learn it. Now that I've learned it, I don't think it has much of a purpose, except to be
an apology. From the start, we were warned not to let our emotions take over.
kind of creepy.
And that's exactly what I did. I got so caught up in worrying.
And our
that the
ghost is
darkness
apologizing
might
to
hurt
apologizing to us,
us.
excuse me, for
I didn't
worrying about
notice
the
the damage
darkness,
that
which,
I was
if
doing,
you
which is the
read my
opposite
article
of
from
what I'm
today,
here for.
giving the review
I'm
of
your
the
ghost.
storyline,
Light, dark, it
you'll
doesn't
see
matter.
how I feel about
We're a team.
that. Thank you, Ghost. That was very kind. So let's go talk to Varix. We'll check out his area and then do a quick little tour of Europa. We won't go too deep though, because there are some places that are fairly extensive, particularly areas associated with quest lines and the strike that we looked at today. Hi, Spotterman. So here's Varix. Hey, man. This is where he hangs out. So he's the Europa vendor. So you can see he is offering bounties. He is offering empire hunts, which are kind of like nightmare hunts, basically, except once again, spoiler alert, you're disrupting the Elixni's, I shouldn't even say Elixni's, but some of the Elixni's plans to acquire Europa. Bless you. And then he has this tree that that tier tree where you're able to unlock empire hunts. But the thing I don't love right now is you can't see any of this, so you're not really actually sure what the goal is, except to help reclaim Europa from enemies. I do wish that, like, the crow tree we saw, there was a bit more information there, because right now it feels a little pointless. And then let's show you this little, want to see a little secret? So here's a little secret. So search the Well of Infinitude. Oh, that's where I need to find the next one. So I was exploring, as one does in Destiny, and we were in a cave in Cadmus Ridge, and there was this little penguin guy. And so you can bring him over here. He seems to function like the Jade Rabbits of the moon, but really it's unclear what his ultimate purpose is. There actually didn't used to be anything over here, but now it's saying search Well of Infinitude. So I'm guessing that's where the next one is. I don't know what you get for it. It could just be you get a little, a little triumph like you do with the Jade Rabbit. So it may be insignificant, but you gotta love a good collector's secret. So let's go to Cadmus Ridge. Oh, that's a nice name. So a couple of thoughts on Europa. That's a beautiful view. I think it's a beautiful planet. I think they did a fantastic job designing it. My one rather minor complaint is I honestly thought it was going to be a bigger location, because the way they made it, and don't get me wrong, it's a large location, but the way they made it sound was if it would be just absolutely, overwhelmingly gigantic with all of these different secrets to constantly explore. And you'll be able to see, so here was Varix. We're up here. I'll show you the Eventide ruins. It doesn't take very long to get to them, even though the map makes it look like they're really far away. Also, I was kind of under the impression that there would be more underground, because they really emphasized exploring the ruins under Europa. And while I guess, yeah, some of it is, I guess you could call this underground over here, a lot of it is above ground. So we'll see. I mentioned, the raid doesn't start until this coming week, and the raid, I believe, is focused on the underground portion, so maybe we'll see more of the map that way. Eventide Ruins, by the way, is the remains of the facilities created by Clovis Bray I. This is where the people in Europa that were under him lived. So a lot of, if we go inside, for example, you'll see that, the facilities were used by his people. And the farther you go in, well, I shouldn't say the farther you go in, but in parts of it, it's very modern and it looks like obviously like a scientific laboratory. If anything, they kind of actually have like a Star Wars Clone War vibe to them. So that's fairly interesting. Oh, so some of the enemies who are able to use stasis will freeze you, and you have to hold down on V to break free for them. So here's that guy. Let me try and jump. So I'll show you the interior, or part of the interior. Now, a lot of this very much looks like an Elixni, excuse me. I want to say Elixinki for some reason. I don't know why. That's not what they're called. You know, it looks like their habitat. So a lot of it looks like fallen habitat, but then the deeper you go in, the more it looks like a sort of Star Wars, Clone Wars laboratory. So let's go back down because it is quite extensive I mean, not super extensive, but extensive enough where it would take more time than I want to spend on it right now to explore. There's a lost sector over in that direction. So you can see we are all the way up here on the map. And this is part of where a lot of the quests take place. But it really wasn't that far. Like, the map makes it look like it's way farther than it is. So let's, we'll get out of here. We'll take a look at the Asterian Abyss, where you can see there's a lost sector in there as well. Lost sector over here. We've already done the lost sectors. This is where the strike was occurring. You can access at least part of it normally, but honestly there's not a whole lot to it. It's not very exciting outside of the strike. And then this is also used, this area here is kind of the area that looks a little bit more Star Wars-ish, is used in a quest. Once again, you can access it outside of the quest, but there's just not a whole lot going on with them otherwise. That's not what I wanted. I want this. So let's hop on our Sparrow and we'll head over to Asterian Abyss, and then I think we will call it good for the evening. So it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong on that. It is a beautiful location, and it is large. Like, it's not small by any means. It is no Mercury. Oh, I thought I was gonna make that. a little too cocky there. Oh, another thing, sorry, I just saw nearby powerful enemy awaits in the storm. There is a weather system on Europa, which is very cool. So you'll see at some points it'll be clear, and at other points you will be in a deep snowstorm, which is, I think, a very neat feature with this planet. The only thing I kind of wish, honestly, is that the snowstorms were a bit longer. They tend to be quite short, I think about a minute or so long, so they do and can obscure your vision. Sorry, that's our dog saying hi to somebody outside. But not for very long, so I do wish that was a little bit longer, but it's still a very neat feature, and maybe I could see them incorporating it into other locations in different ways. You know, maybe some sort of desert location, for example, being stuck in a sandstorm, I think would be a neat thing, a little Tatooine. You can definitely see, if you look here, I think a lot of I keep saying Star Wars, but I don't think I'm wrong in that. I definitely think there is some inspiration there. Some Hoth influence, I feel like. Not a bad thing at all. Especially, I feel like, kind of in this area, and it's sort of desolation. I do like that you can see, you can't see my pointing finger when I'm pointing at, but I do like that you can see the remains, because Europa was apparently occupied during the golden age of humanity in this game, according to the lore, that you can, even in the distance, see its remains. I think that's a really neat feature. So there's definitely a lot to offer with this planet, or with this new location. There's just a few things I wish they had tweaked ever so slightly. Oh, Christopher's dead over there. But yeah, a lot of ruins. If you like that sort of the desolation of this location, I think you will find it quite beautiful. Forgot I had that grenade launcher on. There we go. See, I aimed somewhat correctly there. Not too bad. You just have to be very, very accurate with that grenade launcher. All right. So I think we will call it good for this evening. Thank you for joining us for the first little bit of Season of the Hunt. You can check out our review of the system, the Alienware Aurora R11 on HotHardware.com, and you can check out our review of the Destiny 2 Beyond Light storyline on HotHardware.com as well. Otherwise, we hope that you have a good night.